While others enjoy festivities which come with the holiday season, some tend to feel lonely and isolated during this period. Experts say loneliness is a pervasive human experience transcending age, gender, as well as culture. Clinical psychologist Dr. Keitumetse Mashego joins us for more. Doc, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, loneliness is often misunderstood. Can you provide a comprehensive understanding of what loneliness truly means and why it's essential to differentiate it from solitude?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Loneliness is really about the social connection, intimacy, and, sometimes as human beings, we tend not to deal with the things that we harbor in our subconscious, all the traumas, the memories. So what then happens that in this time of the year, when everything has shut down, we then are forced to sit with ourselves, and that's where loneliness can really come, into play. But loneliness is really about connection and also being comfortable in your skin and self-aware. So if you have not been doing the work to be comfortable in your skin at this time when everything is so quiet, or when there's a lot of people off, or when there's a lot of talk about family and yours has a lot of dynamics and toxicity, it can lead to a feeling of loneliness.
So loneliness is also a complex emotional state. Could you delve into the psychological aspects of loneliness, including how emotions like shame, fear, and a lack of vulnerability contribute to its intensity?
A lot of things can trigger loneliness, and because at this time, as I said, there is no, distraction from sitting with self. So when you're forced to sit with yourself, you find yourself, more prone to anxiety. Some people are more prone to depression at this time because of the loneliness. So loneliness is obviously a context dependent on the person's emotional state, but also their ability to sit and identify what they're going through. Because most people, as human beings, we are on soldier mode. We don't tend to sit with our emotions and actually identify what we're experiencing and also do the work to overcome what we're experiencing. So at this time, there's a lot of triggers because, as I said, it's a quiet time, and some people have not dealt with their family dynamics or their reality the entire year because of the distractions of life. So now it's almost a time where you are forced to sit with your reality and the dynamics that your family are trying to hide, or the family dynamics, your reality that you need to deal with, and it's not always easy. And I think it's human nature not to want to go to the hard place. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, wherever you go, there you are again. And that's what it is about loneliness. Wherever it is you're trying to run away or distract yourself with, there you are, carrying the loneliness with you.
So you also emphasize the importance of perception in understanding and addressing loneliness as well. How does one's perception influence their experience of loneliness, and how can individuals alter this perception for better mental well-being? Dr. Mashego, are you still there?
I am. Yes, so I asked you there at the end, but I did hear your question. I think it's important that we actually understand that whatever it is that we're experiencing is based on the things that we are thinking about, and that leads to certain feelings such as loneliness and then certain actions. So our perception is very important in that whatever it is that if we function, for example, from a place of pain or a place of lack. So if we're sitting there and we're feeling like we're lacking connectivity, we're lacking the intimacy or the connection with other people, then obviously it will lead to certain feelings such as loneliness, and that will lead to then, manifestation of certain behaviors or actions such as withdrawal. Some people do the opposite, where they're actually just going out at full force, and some self-medicate. So I think it's just that awareness that what is it that's going on within me? Where is the source of this loneliness or these emotions? What is the trigger? And obviously having the courage to sit with it. And it takes courage, unfortunately, to come and see someone like me where you are actually navigating or processing the source of your loneliness or any emotions for that matter.
So loneliness and solitude are quite distinct experiences, yet they both involve being alone. Can you elaborate on the differences between loneliness and solitude, and how individuals can harness solitude for personal growth as well?
if you are uncomfortable in your skin when, everything has shut down, like at this time of the year, then loneliness, is likely to be at the forefront if you're functioning from a place of pain. So if you've got things that you haven't been dealing with or things that have, traumatized you, because as human beings, even if you're not sitting with the things or if you're denying them or not, sitting with whatever it is that has traumatized you or relationships that have failed, if you're not sitting and processing that emotion, it just sits there until, you are ready to deal with it. So at this time, because everything has shut down, there's a likelihood that people will feel more lonely because now it's almost like you're forced to sit with the emotions that you harbor in your subconscious. And solitude is different in that people are more hopefully in touch with themselves and they are aware. So it's important sometimes to have solitude, as in you cannot always be in the presence of other people, but you need to be comfortable in your space. So when you are in solitude, it's important then to sit with yourself and actually be comfortable in your skin. So loneliness stems from the fact that people are not comfortable with sitting with themselves, that there's a lot of unprocessed emotions that are sitting there. Throughout the year, we constantly on autopilot. We function like soldiers, some of us, and at this time, because everything is shut down, you're almost forced to sit with yourself until something transcends. And I think that's where the loneliness can become prominent at this time. But it's usually a sign of, that you need to deal with whatever it is that's going on within the surface, because things below the surface just are constantly just waiting for you to deal with them. And the thing about psychology is that the thing that you're not dealing with just waits for you. Even if it was not your fault, the emotions, it's still your responsibility to, go ahead with your healing and become self-aware. And it takes a lot of courage to see someone like me, and and it's not human nature for people to want to go to that place. Yeah.
You're quite right, because the holiday season can intensify feelings of loneliness for many. What specific challenges does the festive season then pose, and how can individuals navigate through these challenges to find a sense of connection as well?
This is the time where they're selling family. Family is being sold, as the thing to have at this time. And if you're functioning from a place of lack, that you don't have, the idea of what family is, whatever that is for you. Remember, perspective is also very important. So if you're functioning from a place of lack, for whatever reason, it could be that you've lost someone, that you really haven't processed the death, and now this is the end of the year where people are going home to people that they love, and it also could be relationships that you've lost. So at this time, it almost forces you to deal with whatever idea of family or the reality of family that is for you. Yeah. And it's not always easy, and there can be a lot of triggers in that it could be the first time, the holiday time, without a loved one. It could be the first time without a relationship or a child. Whatever it is that's happening, even loss of work. And there's a lot of pressure from social media in this era where people are selling this thing that is not real. The idea of family that is not necessarily real. And if you're sitting there and you are looking at people's idea of what family is and you're functioning from a place of lack, it can cause a lot of loneliness. So at this time, there can be a lot of triggers. Yeah. And like I said, human nature, we don't want to sit with the hard stuff. It's not easy. And that means, admitting that you're not okay and actually, going through the process of navigating. And the only way to grieve or to deal with painful emotions is to go through them, which is not always easy. We become very defensive, easier than we actually want to sit with the hard stuff. So that's why then it becomes, crucial for people to be more self-aware and choose to seek help.
Thank you so much for your insights, Dr. Keitumetse Mashego. It becomes quite evident that loneliness is a multifaceted and deeply personal experience. And understanding its psychological nuances, differentiating it from solitude and navigating the challenges of the festive season are crucial steps toward creating a more connected and compassionate community, especially during this time.